as a guide, as a security, and we also using the foot of the machine flush against the fold line of the fabric. We can zoom in a little bit more. As you can see over there, guys, there's the fold of the collar, there's the foot, so the edge of that fold line is touching the inside of the foot as a guide for us to sew straight. Yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing right now. There we go. We're going to do a back tack, of course. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And all that you need to do is just guide the fabric flush against the foot, and making sure that you are overlapping only by 1 millimeter on that stitch line. Remember, we're removing the pins as we go. Sewing all the way to the other side. The button stand. Doing a back tack here as well. 3, 1, 3. And there we go, everybody. So after we've done our stitch line on the outside of the collar and the neckline, there we go, from one side all the way to the other side. This is on the outside. Come on, zoom, 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 zoom. There we go. And then the inside, yeah. There we go, nice and neat. Cool. So now the only thing I need to do now is just get onto the iron them down nice and flat, and then we will talk about the buttons and the button stand and how to go about sewing the buttonholes if you don't have a foot for the button. So after we've sewn the shirt, we've done the collar and everything, we are now ready to put the buttons and the buttonholes, and just trying to figure out how to space these buttonholes properly. Yeah. So what you want for this is your button. So you're going to decide how big this button should be. And in my case, I'm using a chunky button, a bigger button than normal shirts, because I'm doing some sort of chunky vibes. Yeah. This is the size of the button. And we're going to start placing the button on the collar right up top there. That is the first button hole that we're going to make. So you grab the button, you place it on the collar. Let me zoom in real quick. There we go. I've already gone ahead and done that, but I just want to talk you guys through it real quick. So take your button, place it on the collar like that, leaving 5 or at least a 3 millimeter space from the edge of the collar. You place the button there, then you make a line there like a little dot, on the start of the buttonhole, and then another dot at the end of the buttonhole. Once you've done that, remove the button, and then you draw a line connecting those points. As you can see, I've already gone ahead and done that, just to indicate where the buttonhole should be. And then I've mentioned to you guys it would be nice to have a button also by the bust line. So we have a button on the collar, then we have a button on the bust line keeping the shirt closed there, and then between these two buttons we can then decide where to place the other button, so that you can use this measurement for the other buttons going downwards, yeah? And that will be the measurement you use, or the gap you use in between the buttonholes. So you can mark it with a pencil. We do another one real quick. Let me zoom in. Take the button, place it in the middle of your button stand, mark the start of the buttonhole right there, and then mark the end of the buttonhole over there. Remove the button, zoom a little bit more, remove the button, and then just draw a straight line connecting these points, yeah? Use a dressmaker's pencil in case you make a mistake, then you can also just erase it. But that's the buttonholes we have lined out. We will do the buttons in the next video. Alright everybody, so after we have marked the buttonholes and the spacings, we are now ready to sew a buttonhole. And this is for you guys that don't have the buttonhole foot, or you don't know how to navigate around the settings of the machine to get to the buttonhole setting, yeah? So you can also do buttonholes this method, yeah? So I'm going to be showing you guys that method right now. I'm going to zoom in real quick so you can see what we're doing. There we go. So I have the marking over here of where my buttonhole should be, and there's my button, and that button is going to be right over there, yeah? So what I want to achieve now is to sew alongside this line. So here's the line is going to be in the middle, and I'm going to sew alongside the line on the left side and alongside the line on the right side. And then I'll do a back tack over here to secure that little box. So we're going to do a little box around this area, yeah? So here we go everybody. And the foot that might work best for this is your zipper foot. So I'm placing the needle into the fabric, and I'm just going to sew alongside that line. We're going to do back tack, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we just sew alongside that line, and then we pivot our fabric, and then we're going to do 3 back tacks here, 1 back tack, 1, 1, 1. Pivot our fabric, and then we continue the stitch all the way to the marking, and then we pivot the fabric again, and then we do another back tack a few times, about 3 times, 1, 1, 1, 2. Pivot the fabric again. Then we're going to do our last stitch upwards, and then our last stitch across, and pivot the fabric again, and then our last stitch downwards. Do a back tack and leave, and there we go everybody, there's our buttonhole. So now all that we need to do is take a scissor and cut in, and then we repeat this step for all the other buttonholes.